and then we decided to get married, and I moved there on an H4 dependent visa. But then I realized I am not going to just sit at home.
Yeah.
I wanted to do my own thing.
What if we can do like a series for women who dare to dream?
Started convincing my family members, and they were like, she's pagal, like she's crazy, she nobody's going anywhere. So they just didn't care about it for 1 year.
And then both of you decided to come back to India.
They were very concerned about women's safety there. There is still a talk in all tier 2 cities saying that if she goes abroad to study, she might not get married or she might not get a right match.
So when I landed up in US on a dependent visa, it really made me uncomfortable.
There were a lot of women who asked me, should they get married and then go to United States because they'll have a stronger support system.
That in India, work and your family and your personal life is kind of merged.
Correct.
That's not something in UK.
Thank you, Rasika and Madhushri, for doing this. You guys are the first guest on the first episode. I'm excited to do this. This is like something very new that I am trying to do. And of course, Mpower is like helping me do this. And there are a lot of women that we met during the events that we did in my recent trip to India. And they had a lot of questions. And I was like, what if we can do like a series for women who dare to dream kind of thing? And so that's why we are here, and we will share your journey. I'll ask some questions because I asked my audience like, hey, what questions would you have? And they have asked me their questions, so excited. But before we get started, let's do like a quick intro. Where are you from? What did you do? And all of that fun stuff. Yeah,
All
so
right.
we'll start with you.
Super excited to be here
Yes.
and share my journey as an international student. So I was 25 when I was dating somebody who had gone to US to do his master's, and then we decided to get married, and I moved there on an H4 dependent visa. But then I realized I am not going to just sit at home.
Yeah.
I wanted to do my own thing.
Yeah.
I did a lot of research for a year, gave my GRE, and then got into a nice STEM course in University of Washington. And from there, it's been 5 years of working in US, living in US,
Wow.
and then now I'm back in India.
Nice. Amazing. And then
Thank you for having me. I'm very excited for this. I went to UK when I was 23 years old.
nice.
I was doing my bachelor's in media science, and I don't know how, where, when. I just saw an umbrella ad of advice consultancy, and it shows study abroad. And I was like, it's very interesting. I should try and do it, like try to see what is in it. And I was a first year student back then, and then I started reading about it. And that's when I got excited. And nobody in my family went abroad for their studies or went abroad as such.
Yeah.
I was the first child
Yeah,
from
same
my
like
family.
me.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Same.
And yeah, that's all. And then I started convincing my family members, and they were like, she's pagal, like she's crazy, she nobody's going anywhere. So they just didn't care about it for 1 year, but I was very adamant. And was the first step. And then yeah, by the time I was in my third year, I had conditional offer letter,
Nice.
scholarship, and I was like, yeah.
Amazing.
Wow.
Yeah. And so you went to UK.
UK, University of Bedfordshire,
Nice.
for Masters in Public Relations.
Great. And you said you worked in US. Where did you work?
Yeah, so I worked in Amazon for around 3.5 years before I moved back to India. And before that, in the first 2 years of hustling after my master's, I did a lot of small-time jobs in gaming companies, startups, and took up volunteer work initially, unpaid kind
Yeah,
of
yeah, yeah.
jobs. So the first 2 years were a lot of hustling, and
Yeah.
then I got my dream offer from Amazon, and then I stayed with Amazon for almost 4 years.
Nice. And then both of you decided to come back to India.
Yes.
We'll talk more about that as well, like what
Yep.
was that decision like. But I want to go back in time when you guys decided to do masters. Was it hard to convince your family at all?
Oh yes, first
Yeah.
thing first, I was from a very middle class family.
Yeah.
So we never had that funds available for them to fund my studies.
Right.
So that was first thing.
Huh.
Then being a girl child
Ah.
was the second thing. Like they were very concerned about women's safety there.
Okay.
So apart addition to the money part, even the safety part was a
Safety.
concern.
Got it.
And there is still a talk in all tier 2 cities saying that if she goes abroad to study, she might not get married or she might
Oh.
not get a right match.
Ah.
So that was also a concern. So yeah, those were the concerns, and it
Yeah.
took me a
I,
long.
I have a follow-up question for you, but I want to hear like did you have to convince, or like you just went because
So I am someone who doesn't like to ask anybody for money
okay.
and doesn't like to be dependent. So when I landed up in US on a dependent visa, it really made me uncomfortable, and that was actually my motivation. I already had a master's degree before going to US, but I realized that my master's in India does not give me the kind of exposure or the platform that I need to make a solid career in
Yeah.
US. I studied a lot about what courses are available, what is a STEM course, what is the advantage of doing a STEM course, the 1 year extra OPT.
Yes. 2 years.
And
Yeah.
2 years,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
So 1 year is what they give in a normal course,
Normal,
and
and then you
then
get 2 years
in
extension.
STEM courses you get 2 years. So
Yeah.
that was a big advantage of going for this course. And in terms of funding my academics, I went for a traditional education loan because I also wanted that responsibility, taking ownership of my own
You
career.
wanted to own that decision.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And I love the fact that you mentioned like, fun finances and then the girl child.
Yeah.
So there was a question from a parent who mentioned that what if she's the only daughter and who's going, how can she make sure that she can take care of the family or the parents who are growing old when she goes to United States or UK or
If I do the back calculation, if she's going abroad for her masters, she must be around 23, 24.
yeah,
There are high chances parents are in their mid 50s.
yeah,
They can take care of themselves
yeah,
at least for 2 to 3 years
right,
till the time she goes study,
yeah,
learn new skills, see the world,
mm,
develop professionally and personally,
mm,
and then she can come back and take care of it. Like I did the
mm,
same. I
yeah,
always had this motive, like I would go study and come back. So I did graduate in 2014 November, and I was back in India in 2015 January. So my entire motive was only to go there, study, see the world, do jobs,
yeah,
and then come back.
nice,
And I'm doing well in India as well.
yeah,
So it's more about your education, your learning,
yeah,
and growing professionally and personally. And in case if there is a family emergency that has to be looked up to, you can always have a helper.
yeah,
You can have a helping hand. Ask your relatives to look after them.
yeah,
Yeah, something
perfect,
like that. Yeah.
awesome,
I have a beautiful thing to share.
Yeah.
So, my father was a doctor, and he always wanted me to be a doctor. So I never really got that "I am proud of you" moment from him till the time I got my job in Amazon, and I bought them the first cruise tickets to Alaska.
Oh wow,
I flew them to Seattle,
Oh.
took them on a cruise to Alaska, and I did it all with my own money. And that's exactly that moment when my father realized
Yeah.
that, okay, my daughter is
Yeah.
independent, she's arrived.
Mm.
And that was the moment he said he's proud of me.
Oh, that is beautiful.
My mother never said that ever to me.
It's really difficult to
maybe
get
That's
after
these-
this
Indian parents,
episode
yeah.
she'll say that.
that's just Indian parents.
Yeah. So, yeah.
That's amazing. Again, going back in time, when you guys were deciding locations, safety is like number one thing, and that was also the top question, like safety concerns of pursuing masters in abroad. How, like, were you very conscious that this is the locations I'm gonna choose, this is the city I'm gonna choose? How did you deal with the safety thing?
I do look into it, like about the safety of that city, crime rates and all. I did that proper research for 1 year and then deciding a country and a city. That's why I choose London, because it was like it's pretty much the central,
Safer,
so
yeah.
safer. And yeah, that's one thing.
Yeah.
I think as Indian women, we also have this inbuilt safety sixth sense
Yeah.
that we
Consciousness.
carry, consciousness
Yeah.
that we carry with us all around.
Yeah.
One thing I realized is there is a culture difference,
Mm.
and some things that are okay in their culture, like for strangers coming up and starting a conversation with you, was initially a bit daunting for me because
Mm.
that's not something we experience in
Yeah.
India.
Yeah.
But once I got used to the culture, once I embraced it, I realized that there's some beautiful uh, sense of community there, which is not something I'd experienced in India, where people
Mm.
are just nice and friendly to you as a default.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was something beautiful that made me feel safe.
Mm.
Even I
Yeah.
was very conscious for my
Mm.
entire teenage years, and I like, and the way we are being subconsciously taught is like, it's not safe out there,
Yeah.
and there will always be someone, your brother, your father, or anybody else, male member in your family, who would be there for you.
Yeah.
But I have noticed that in abroad, it's not that bad. Like, media overhypes everything.
Yeah.
Even if someone comes to you to talk to you with any intent, and if you tell them that you're not comfortable, you would not want to talk, or you're not interested in that person,
Yeah.
they would back off. Like,
Yeah.
I've never, touch wood, I've never had any
Yeah.
People tend
bad
to
experience.
respect boundaries a lot
Yes, a
more.
lot more in.
Yeah.
Because you guys are talking about like boundaries and safety and all of it, another thing is like being in comfort zone. Like a lot of time I've seen students like to be in their own community, they like to be in the comfort zone. It's just natural. How did you guys, like, did it change for you when you went to United States or UK? Did it like change completely, and how did you come out of that comfort zone?
Yeah, when I went to UK, the first time I landed, my uncles were like, look for Indian community nearby. And I was like, no, I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
Because if I do
Yeah.
that, the day I land, I'm sure the next time I'm in a problem, I would go back to them.
Ah.
And also, because of the safety concerns, my family looked for a hostel,
Hmm.
and like campus hostel for me,
Yeah.
and it was 5 BHK. So there were students from different countries.
Hmm.
So just because I didn't go out looking for Indians, I made friends with all those five
Different country
yeah,
people,
people
so
there in that
diversity.
hostel.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that way I was able to grow my network and
Yeah.
make friends with people from different
Yeah.
countries.
I think I got the best advice when I started my course is that, get out of your comfort zone, and there's a lot of adventure and magic.
Hmm.
Embrace the, difference in cultures. And thankfully, I was able to experience that. I made sure that I talked to people from different cultures. I had friends from Mexico, friends from China. I understood their uh, way of life, the cuisine.
Hmm.
There's so much different, amazing food out there. So, the one thing that people should definitely experience is
Hmm.
different cultural cuisine
Hmm.
in America.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so, yeah, I learned to hold chopsticks from a Chinese friend.
Yes. I'm
So,
still learning. I don't know how to do
yeah.
it.
So those are the kind of things that wouldn't have happened if I would have stuck
Mm.
to
Yeah.
the Indian group.
Yeah.
So it's good to have Indian friends and have that cultural,
Hmm.
that homely feeling with
Hmm.
people. But it is also very important that you go out and have fun and
Hmm.
make an
And
effort to get out of your
Yeah.
comfort zone. One thing that I feel is in India, we feel our accent, our English is judged by
Hmm.
people outside, but that's not the case.
Okay.
That's not true.
Yeah.
You don't need to change your accent. You don't need to talk in a fake accent
Yeah.
uh, to be understood or respected.
Right.
And in US, every third person is an immigrant with a different accent, and they are very accommodative of.
yeah.
Hmm.
They'll ask you politely if they don't understand what you're
Yeah.
saying, but there is no such thing as judgment or shaming you for
Hmm.
using the wrong accent or wrong English.
Hmm.
So don't hold yourself back. If you have an idea, if you want to talk to people, just be bold
Yeah.
enough to do that.
That's where I was going to next. Was it's usually not that they want to stay, it's the fear that they have. What if other people are going to think of me? Like, what will society think of me? And what if I say something that is dumb or stupid? So you already kind of answered that question, but was it hard for you in the initial stages to network at all?
I think the first quarter of my course was really I think for every international student, it's very daunting.
Mm.
You're looking for a campus job. You're trying to figure out campus life. You're also trying to figure out the course structure is different from the kind of academics that you've done in your hometown. So it is daunting in the first quarter, but embracing that as an adventure, and there's a lot of fun that is just happening around you, and being open to absorbing the fun of it, fun of that growth and learning, actually helped me. Once I got my campus job, I was friends with Mexicans, Koreans, a lot of people, and then slowly I got very
Yeah.
comfortable in the first 2 or 3 months.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Was it same for you? Was it harder to network at all?
Yes, in the beginning it was harder.
Yeah.
We were exposed to very different cultural background,
Yes. Yeah.
and that's something which we have not seen. Like as a 23 years old, when I went there, one of my classmates said, "I have a kid," and the first question was, "Okay, where is her husband?" And he said, "I'm not married." And I'm like, "Okay."
Yeah. So it's very
So
different.
it
Yeah.
was really shocking, and I have lived in Jamshedpur all my life, and I did bachelor's from Kolkata, so it was very different. And I've learned one thing.
Mm.
I didn't say, like, I was like, "Okay, nice to meet you," and all, but I've learned one thing. It's also important to be open to accept other
Yeah.
culture
Yeah.
instead of judging.
Yeah.
So the way you are scared, like people will judge you, they are also scared that you might judge them, and then
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
yeah, cultural thing is very strong in India.
Yeah.
And only thing I would advise anybody is when you're networking, have the same respect,
Mm.
and yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
let's open up. Like yeah.
Yeah. Did you grow personally? Like you feel like there was a lot of personal growth? Because again,
Yes.
my story, since you guys don't know, like 10 years ago, I went to United States, lower middle class family, grew up in a chawl. I was very shy, introvert kid. And when I went there, my life completely changed for a good reason.
Yeah.
And I grew personally and professionally. Was there change for you guys as well? And
Yes.
if it was, how?
Yeah. I think the academics was just the tip of the iceberg.
Yeah.
What actually happened was personal growth,
Yeah.
confidence,
Yeah.
confidence to speak up in a crowd of,
Yeah.
people, speak your ideas confidently, and the amount of inhibitions that I had about myself, or just lack of exposure that I had, that kind of growth was, I mean, amazing, and I still like owe it to my education for
Yeah.
that growth,
Yeah. Yeah.
and it still helps me every day.
Yes.
Yes, I do feel it has helped me personally as well. I feel like here we are, the family members are always there to help you, be it with food,
Yeah.
be it with cleaning,
Yes.
taking you outside like for shopping, or be it
Yeah.
anything XYZ, like everybody is there for you.
Yeah.
And when you land into a new country
Yeah.
without any family members or friends, you try to navigate through life yourself. You go through problems
You go
yourself.
into that survival mechanism.
Yeah, survival. And then honestly, within 1 month, you're thriving and you have
Yeah.
adjusted yourself. So
Yeah.
yeah, the first
Yeah,
time
doing your own thing,
things
like what,
itself. I
like
have learned
loading
how
a
to
dishwasher
use
and
microwave oven on YouTube.
and cooking, looking at YouTube videos.
I have asked my flatmates there, like, how to use this oven, and this person was like, "It's microwave." I was like, "Okay, how to use this?" So yeah, that's how. And
Yeah.
then we'd go grocery shopping, which is
Yeah.
again, I had no clue about it in India.
Yeah.
Because नीचे तो मिल जाता
Yeah,
है
there's
हमारे यहाँ
someone. Yeah, there's someone else. My mother would take care of my food, so I had no clue how to cook. So in that way, it's something which is. I did grow up a lot personally. I became more inclusive. That's one thing, and
But
then
did that fear hold you from making that decision to go? Because
No.
all of this was unknown.
no. It's okay to fail.
Huh.
Like I would rather fail than not to try. Like
Yeah, I think fear is a byproduct, but the adventure was more
thrill.
The thrill of exploring the world was bigger than the fear. And doing a job there, earning your own money,
Yeah.
getting enough money to buy a house in India. Those were the dreams that actually fueled us
Mm,
more than the fear.
nice.
Yeah.
One more question, since your background is a little different, so I want to ask, because there were a lot of women who asked me, should they get married and then go to United States because they'll have a stronger support system.
You don't need to be married. You will, if you just apply for a course and you're accepted to a nice university, you will find your family in a matter of the first month.
Hmm.
We have a really good culture in international students in US. They are very close knit. You can borrow things. You can literally survive without having to spend a lot of money,
Hmm.
just by how helpful people are around you. So just find your tribe and have a lot of fun. You don't have to be married. If you find somebody, just marry for the right reasons is
Yeah.
what I
Yeah.
would say.
Yeah, and on the same line, there was also another question by, if they are above 30, they felt like it's too late for them. Should they now even
Yeah.
consider going?
Yes. So education and knowledge is something, it's beyond age. It doesn't
Yeah.
matter what age you go and study. Like it's
Hmm.
just the
Yeah.
knowledge. Yeah.
But
So
have you seen, when I was doing my master's, I saw my classmate was 54 years old. She
yes, I
was
have seen.
nurse in hospital. But yeah, so have you seen girls or women who are like older?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
I
have.
think there are some courses that are especially better if you do them after you have some
Some experience,
experience.
yeah.
So I don't think being about 30 is actually a problem. It's actually an advantage.
Hmm.
You come with a lot of experience that can help you get the most out of your education.
Nice.
So
Yeah.
that's how I would put it. And the only question you need to ask yourself is if you're happy with the status quo or not. If you want things to change at a very big level in your career, in your profession, getting a master's degree from a good university in US can be a game changer for you.
Love
Even
it.
in India, we have executive MBAs
Yeah.
wherein people do.
They
They're like
are
with 10 years of experience
right.
only.
Yeah.
I'd have done my master's in public relations. So a lot of students were there who have done their master's in marketing first, and
And
then
then
they want to specialize in something in marketing, and then they have joined in public relations. So
Hmm.
there were students who were
Yeah. So age is
experienced.
not something they
No,
should
it's more
hold
about
back.
the knowledge.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So now you are doing masters,
Yeah.
right? And on-campus job is like a big thing. Was that surprising to you that we have to do on-campus job, or you were like excited to do on-campus job?
I was excited. I was
Huh?
excited for on-campus job. I was excited for all part-time jobs.
Yeah.
I
What
worked in
did you do
food
as
trucks.
a?
I have so basically I did work in a company called Federation of Small Businesses.
Okay.
So that was during my education and all.
Yeah.
I have also worked in food trucks,
Yeah.
conventional stores,
Oh, nice. Okay. Yeah.
That's
warehouse,
nice.
Amazon warehouse.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah. So these are
Was
like
it fun?
interesting. Not when I was doing it,
Yeah.
but yes, now
Looking
when I
back.
look back,
Looking
yeah,
back, like it was a
yeah,
different
it was
experience.
Indian food truck, like
Yeah,
so I
you
would
would
get free food.
never do
Yeah.
over here,
Yeah.
right?
So
Like have
Yeah.
that kind of experience.
I think on campus job was something exciting for me.
Hmm.
I had a background in filmmaking, so I got a really good gig at a school of nursing
Oh,
in
interesting.
University of Washington, where I had to live stream lectures using a 3-point camera system and all that.
Oh, wow.
So it was an amazing job. It used to pay nothing. I used to get like $500 at the end of the month.
Hmm.
And I used to wake up at 5 in the morning, be there to record the lecture at 6 in the morning.
Hmm.
So it was hard work, no pay, but a hell lot of fun and
Yeah.
a hell lot of
But
exposure.
now when you look back, do you find it like
Yeah, I think that campus job gave me the confidence that I needed
Yeah.
to, take my
Yeah,
Uh,
and that's also the
yeah.
first time you're working
Yeah.
in United States, so get the experience. Same for me as well.
For me, all my part-time campus jobs were related to my field. So it helped me make my portfolio
Yeah.
before I was applying for jobs in India or in UK, both the
Yeah.
places. Yeah.
Was there at all like a distinguish, like it is male dominated or female dominated, or no?
No,
Like
no,
there was
no,
no
no. I have
difference.
never felt that
Never
place in
felt that.
UK. No,
Okay, nice.
and not even like discrimination on based on like you're immigrant or you're something like
Right.
that. Like brown
Yeah.
skin. I've never faced those kind of
Hmm.
discriminations there.
I think that was awesome thing that I experienced is usually when you're a woman, you tend to have a little bit of inhibition that you might be judged for being a woman. But when you are in a room full of people and they value your thoughts and your ideas, and it really doesn't matter, your
Yeah,
gender
yeah.
doesn't matter, and you thrive in that kind of environment.
And I
And
also feel like
I was
when you
lucky
are
to get that.
conscious,
Yeah.
you get that energy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you are not conscious, like I
Yeah.
don't think even if someone else is thinking, you
So
would not
your
even
own
understand like
mindset
what is it.
matters.
Yeah.
It's your own mindset.
I think the professional environment there
Yes.
is totally
Totally, it's all professional.
Yeah, it doesn't matter if you're a man or a woman. You are judged based on the value you bring to the table.
Nice. Love it. Does that apply same when you went graduated and now you are in the full time job hunting? Is it how did you stand out in the tech industry especially, or like whichever industry you were working on? Usually it's male dominated, so how do you stand out as a woman?
As I said, like it's just in your mind. Like if it's you
Acha.
let your
Okay.
work speak,
Huh.
nobody else can question that.
Stop you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great.
And also there are toxic companies and
Yeah,
like
yeah.
everywhere. I'm not saying it's not there. You just have to filter out, see how the culture is. There are a lot of websites like Glassdoor wherein you can read the reviews and all. And if you go through companies in Bangalore, a lot of them, even negative reviews would say work-life balance, this, that, but there are not much that would say about gender biasness. So that's not something that's very common even in Bangalore and India at this time.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
it's all, I feel, I won't not say it's all in your mind, but I feel you should be alert, but don't be super conscious that just because you're a girl, people will judge you. Speak your mind, show your work,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So work on yourself.
work
yeah.
on yourself, be confident.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
That's all right,
if you have any inhibition about being a woman in a man's world, you need to work on your inhibitions first, because mostly in professional environments, I've seen people judge you based on the passion you bring to the table, based on your individual, like your ideas, based on your originality of thought, and that is valued in the professional world. It is not about being a woman or a man. And I was lucky enough to see that happen. I was hired in Amazon when I was 6 months pregnant. They hired me knowing that I'm going to
That, yeah,
be
you're gonna be
on
on
a
maternity leave.
maternity leave in 3 months, but they
Yeah.
hired me because I brought the kind of value they wanted. So be very confident in who you are and build your skill set is what I would say. I mean,
Like it.
you will not get advantages for being a woman or disadvantages. It's all about how you build your skill set.
But be alert.
Yeah.
In case if
Yeah.
you sense something which is off, be alert, speak out, be
Yeah.
confident.
Yeah.
There is a posh committee in every offices. You can
Yeah.
report.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How did you guys get the job?
Oh,
And
a lot of hustling.
Yeah.
I would say the first thing that I would, give an advice to myself.
Yeah, younger
Don't
self.
don't be picky with your first job.
Okay.
Your first job is not going to land you in the big fours. Your first job is mostly going to be in a WeWork, in a small cubicle, doing some sort of thing, like insignificant thing.
Yeah.
But trust the process.
Mm.
Trust the process. Give it a year. I was in WeWork working for a startup, gaming startup. From there, I got into a good gaming company, and from there, I got poached at Amazon. I didn't even apply.
Oh wow.
So,
So someone referred you.
yeah, and somebody found me on LinkedIn, and they were
Acha.
like, "This is exactly what we are looking for,"
Okay.
and they approached me. So everything happened organically. I think being less choosy and keep working.
Yeah.
So initially, when I didn't have a job right after my graduation,
Mm.
for the first 3 months, I was doing pro bono work
Mm.
for a company, for a NGO,
Mm.
for a cancer research organization. So keep working,
Yeah.
keep hustling, keep building your, keep polishing your, like, what do you call
Your
it,
skill
knife.
sets. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
So
would
keep
say
sharpening your knife.
yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
Keep
would say
sharpening
be
it.
choosy, but not with the company, with for the work.
Oh,
Yeah.
interesting. So the
So
role that
Yeah.
you're
the
doing.
role you are getting, if you're getting a very big role with new challenges and new learning, take
Mm.
that role. That would help you grow better
Mm.
than say in Big Four or a very well-known company.
Mm.
So
Yeah.
yeah, that's something I would want to add.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go back to education. Did you find was there any cultural shock for you in terms of education
Yes,
system?
yes. It's in India. It's very different. Like there are books, you memorize things. There are questions, you answer that, and it's done.
Right.
And in UK, it was like different. You have to write reports, thesis. So and
But
then
it's very hands-on.
it's very hands-on. You'll have
Mm.
to understand the thing, and then only you can make things. Like you can
Mm.
answer the questions. It's just not something that you can memorize
Mm.
and do well in.
Mm.
So one thing I realized is there were no exams.
Yeah.
There was less focus on what you know and more about what you can do. So there was like project-based assignments,
Yeah.
and we had to submit projects at the end of each quarter.
Yes.
And based on that, we were evaluated. So a lot of work, creativity, a lot of hard work went into building something,
Mm.
and it was very satisfactory.
Mm.
Also, there's less obsession with grades.
Yeah.
uh, that's one thing that, in India we are like obsessed with grades, and
Yeah.
there that's not important.
Yeah.
It's more important that you make the most of your experience and
Yeah.
your course. Choosing the right courses is really important.
Mm.
And talk to your seniors, talk to people who have done the course, understand why this course is important for your career, and then pick it up.
Something which was very different for me is when I was applying for courses, for example, in public relations, they would give me structure of the course, like
Oh,
which
interesting.
chapter, which subjects they would teach me,
Yeah.
and I would be able to tuke it a bit. And that's not something I have faced, like even back then
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
in India.
Plus also the
So
flexibility you get to choose. At least in
yes,
US,
yeah,
we get to
get
choose what
choose.
courses
Yes,
Yeah.
we want to do
yeah,
in
yeah,
which
a
semester, which
semester.
professors we want to choose.
So that
So
was very different for
yeah.
me in UK, and which I have not faced in India.
Mm.
So
Yeah.
that was a learning. Like I have to go through each and every subject they were like there, and to understand what I would want to pursue further and which subjects would I would want to drop out.
Yeah. How did you guys maximize your experience at the university? Like what did you do?
I focused a lot in addition to my studies. Like until my
Like
bachelor's,
what?
I joined clubs,
Huh.
voluntary activities.
Okay.
Every universities would have those guided tours
Mm.
at a very discounted cost. Like there was an entire bus. Students from the university, freshers would like we can enroll in it and then travel to the nearest cities. Like I went to Oxford, Canary Wharf, Cambridge. So that's something which I have like done a lot. Like
So I signed up for a lot of student groups. International student associations are very strong and prominent in most of the university
Yes.
campuses.
Yeah.
Signing up for ISA, signing up for some cultural groups. And that's where I met people. That's where a lot of interesting thing happened. I signed up for a American Marketing Association workshop
Yes. Yeah.
where they taught us simple skills like interview skills.
Mm.
How do you dinner
Yeah, dinner etiquettes.
dinner etiquettes,
Yeah.
and soft power kind of things, which we don't think about, which academics does not cover. So those are the kind of things that I learned outside of my course. And within the course, you all have the freedom to maybe choose one course outside of your department. If you have that choice, make that choice. I took a course in MBA called Data Driven Marketing, and it was a game changer for me, for my career. So,
Yeah.
yeah, go beyond your
So
department.
just don't stick to
Yeah.
curricular. do extracurricular
I've also
activities?
Yeah.
joined a football club. I don't even watch footballs because, but a lot of my friends would do. So
Is
yeah,
it
they were
is
like,
it the Indian football or the
no, no,
American
America,
football?
no,
Oh,
UK, like Manchester United and all
Yeah,
those
yeah,
kind.
like
Yeah,
soccer.
so
Yeah,
soccer,
soccer.
yes.
yeah.
So
In
that was
you,
one thing. Yeah, I will
right?
do a lot of pub hopping, city side clubs,
Nice.
those things. Yeah, even if I don't drink, I will just go there and chill
Yeah.
with people and meet new people. So that was something which was very exciting for me.
Hmm. Amazing. Um, you guys both worked. What was the work culture difference? Like, what was the culture like working in United States or UK?
I worked in multiple different domains.
Hmm.
Started with a very small organization where the organization used to call me home. Like it was like working from their home kind of
Yeah.
a thing,
Yeah.
to working at Amazon.
Hmm.
So I have had extremely different experiences, but all positive experiences.
Hmm.
And I feel like it has enriched me beyond profession. Like
Hmm.
professionally, yes, I've learned a lot. But beyond that, I have embraced different cultures. I've had different kind of exposure with Amazon. I've traveled to Barcelona. I've traveled around the world,
Hmm.
and London. So those are the kind of things and the challenges that I got professionally
Hmm.
were like amazing there.
Hmm.
So the growth, the challenges, plus the money.
Yeah, of course.
I mean, it was like it was amazing.
Yeah.
5 years of a great adventure.
Hmm. Was it
I
different for you
felt,
or
yeah,
same?
it was different. I felt it was more structured there. So
Hmm.
they had a time to reach office and then the logout time. That was more structured.
Oh yeah.
In
Yeah.
India, I find it very vague.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Same. It was for me
something.
as well. Like 5 o'clock, everyone just leaves.
Yes,
Yeah.
so it was a bit shocking.
Yeah.
I also feel structured in the work approach. Like they
Hmm.
know what do they want from you, how much
Hmm.
work,
Hmm.
what work. It's
Hmm.
not ad hoc.
Yeah.
At times, it's like if it's in a structured company, it's not ad hoc work.
Hmm.
That's another part. And you can let your problem know. So, and then I have also noticed that in India, work and your family and your personal life is kind
Yeah.
of merged.
Ah. Correct.
That's not something in UK.
Mm.
Hmm.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
That's true. And
Like,
one thing is this kind of support I got from my company when I was a new mom. That
Hmm.
was amazing. I've not,
Hmm.
experienced that kind of support. I've not seen Indian companies provide that kind of support to their, like I
yes.
had I had an option of ramp up
Oh yes.
where
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
could
Yeah.
only had to work 50%
Hmm.
for almost 4 weeks
Hmm.
till I was ready to give 100%.
And the
That's
maternity
nice.
leaves, I'm assuming that it's more in US. I've heard. I don't know. Is that true?
No, actually, there's a difference. Depends on which company
Okay.
you work with.
Got
There
it.
is a federal maternity leave, which is
And
I
then
think
there's a
10
state.
weeks
Yeah.
post and 4 weeks before.
Hmm.
So that is like around 14 weeks, which is the mandatory that you'll get.
Yeah.
But then there is additional leaves that are part of the company policy.
Got it. Okay.
So depends on your company.
That's cool. Yeah. I love it. Now that you are working in India, how long have you been working in India after?
10 years now, like
Oh,
9.
for
I just returned back to India after completing my course.
okay. Got it.
So
And
yeah.
Yeah, I moved back in 2020, so it's been around 4 years.
4 years.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, was it different for you working back again in India?
Yes, difference.
What ways?
Definitely, work culture is different,
Hmm.
but not where I'm working right now.
Hmm.
So, initially, I started with an Indian company, and there I realized that there is still a lot of hierarchy,
Yeah.
Hmm.
and you're not supposed to talk to your higher ups or
Oh.
approach them. They're not approachable. So, there's a
Hmm.
lot of rigidity in that hierarchical structure.
Hmm.
Whereas in a truly American company, which I'm blessed to work with now,
Yeah.
there is no such thing as hierarchy.
Hmm.
Your ideas are appreciated regardless of who you are in the
Hmm.
structure.
Nice.
Yeah.
And was the decision to come back hard to make?
Mm.
Because like a lot of people wants to settle abroad, right?
Yeah.
Like they go, most of them go
Hmm.
like they want to make their
Settle.
career
Yeah.
and settle there. But you guys made an intentional choice to come back. Was that hard choice?
Yes, it was a very well thought and it was a long process making that choice. There are pros and cons. If I would have stayed in US, I would have earned more money. I would have been professionally, I think, at a better place. But having a family and the kind of support that you need when you have a child and you have decided to be a working mom, full-time working mom, balancing that out in US without any support from your family, because your family can only be there for 6 months. So at that point when my child was young, I wanted my family to support me, and that's the decision that I made, that I would rather be a working mom in India than struggle in US, balancing motherhood and full-time
Yeah.
job.
Or
For
was
me, I
it?
was single when I went there. I was single when I came back. So that was not the
But
concern.
was the decision to come back
Not
harder?
really.
No.
I always wanted to come back. Like
Okay.
I had this in my mind beforehand.
That
Like
you
if I'd go there, study,
experience.
experience, grow professionally, grow personally, learn new things, and I would come back and like start my career in India.
Yeah,
And
I
that's
think
what
if
I've never
you're
done.
if
Yeah.
you're single, it's a beautiful place to be. But once you have a family or if you have responsibilities, then you do have to compromise.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I
Yeah.
don't see coming back as a compromise. A lot of my friends have settled in UK and then they are now British citizens. But
Yeah.
yeah, I in the beginning, obviously, I mean, I started my career in a company called Drive You, and yeah, so in the beginning, I would see them holidaying in some part of Europe, and I was like, maybe I am left back somewhere, like I'm
There's a FOMO.
lagging behind.
Huh.
But then in few years, my career was also settling down slowly, and I'm doing well. And that feeling went like somewhere it's not there now. Uh, every like I feel we all question ourselves. I'm sure they are also questioning themselves that they are not doing good. Like it's something which is subconsciously in everyone's mind.
Right.
We are
Yeah,
not
yeah.
grateful
There's no
90% of
such
time,
thing
but
as, yeah.
yeah,
There's no
but
perfect
Yeah,
career
it's not
path.
like a
yeah,
right or wrong thing
right
Yes.
to
or
come
wrong.
back
Yeah.
or not.
So,
Yeah.
but
Living there was hard in
and
different
living here means
departments,
like
but
living here is
yeah.
also hard in different departments. But I wanted to stay with my family. I have my mom is there, my sisters are there, and I would want to be here. So I feel like everything you get there is in India as well.
Yeah.
So
True.
yeah.
Now that you have completed this journey of
Hmm.
doing masters, coming back, working, what would you do differently? Would you do something differently, or like if I give you a magic power to go back in timeline, like okay, here are a few things I would, now that I know how it all works, these are the things I would do
I would
differently.
hold back myself a bit lesser than I used to.
You would have hold back.
No, I would like, yeah, I would hold back on everything. Like, should I go there? Should I not go there? I would
Acha.
try to, gauge everything with a lot. Like, is it safe there? Is it not safe there? And what will this person think about me if I do? Like, should I apply for this job at BBC, or maybe they would reject me.
Okay.
So those kind of conscious, like, biasness towards myself from me was a lot.
Acha. So you would remove all of
Yeah,
those.
I would not hold back myself
Not
the
hold
way
back.
I
Okay,
would
okay, yeah,
was
yeah.
doing it back then.
Yes, got it. You wouldn't doubt yourself so much.
Yeah.
I think I stressed a lot.
Yes.
Being an international student with an education loan and not getting that campus job within the first month itself was the kind of stress I cannot explain, but I think a lot of people can relate to. And the only thing I would tell myself going back is you don't need to stress, you don't need to fret. It is all going to work out. And don't compare your timeline with somebody else's. Somebody else might get a campus job before you, but does not mean that you're not worthy of it. It's just that you are on a different, you have your own path. Trust your path. And one thing I would say is try to hone your skills. Like you should be aware of your advantages and disadvantages and try to work on your weaknesses and try to be a better person, and automatically things will start happening.
Yeah. Understand your strength, your weakness, and try
Yeah.
to use your strength and
Yeah.
try to at least
Yeah.
pass with your weakness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you guys face the Big Boss drama? Like roommates, issues?
Since I was married, I didn't have to do the campus roommates
Yes.
thing.
Yeah.
But I
Um,
have heard a lot of drama.
Yeah.
yeah, it used to be there, and that was fun.
But yeah, but I've heard a lot of amazing adventures as well.
Yeah.
Like people, like 4 apartments sharing the same Indian mixer.
Oh, right,
Okay,
right, of
that kind
course.
of drama. For me, it was very
Yeah.
different.
Yeah.
And then,
What was your different?
So basically, I do it, right? Like it was from very different countries. Like people, so some of them
Acha,
were.
ha, ha.
So obviously, few of them would party at 3 a.m.
yeah.
and that was one thing. And then
So did you call cops on them?
no, I did not. I would just lock myself in my room and sleep, try to sleep.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a cultural shock. It was like, and everybody there. So Europeans, I don't know, like they are very on point.
Hmm.
So the way Indians and Americans would talk is very different. They will be very friendly. Hi, hello, hi, how are you? Where are you from? How was your day? Beautiful day. But I felt Europeans are different. Even if it's their love language very different. Even if they like you, they'll be like, hi, nice to meet you, and then they will shut the door. So it was very different. And the first time this person did that to me, I was like, okay, I do something to offend?
Yeah.
And I was very conscious about that. I would do something that would offend everyone else was way too high for the first 1 week or 2 weeks of my landing there. So that's something which
Yeah.
as a personally, I have learned to understand what the other person's language is. How do they perceive a person relationships, like as a friend or as a roommate? That's one
Yeah.
thing. And then few people were like super clean, and few
Yeah.
people were not clean.
Yeah. Cleaning is the number
Yeah,
one
that's
reason
one
for
thing.
fights.
Yeah.
And it
I
was
think this
like-
applies when you are married as well. I mean, if you're
That's with your
living
partner.
with a boy, there are
And then
there are other
you're sharing
problems.
equipments like your oven, microwave, everything. But then you're like, okay. And then there are different accents as well. So some African accents, Chinese accent, Indian accent. Anyways, it's very different. And
So
yeah.
when I moved there, my husband was already there,
Hmm.
and he had just 2 plastic cups for everything. So we
But
had
at least
like
you had
the same
someone who
cups
would
for
help you
water.
navigate through US like in the first 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember I went to a 99-pound shop. That means like £1. It's
Yeah,
like
yeah,
everything
yeah.
is under one,
We have
£1.
$99 some
And
dollars.
yeah, and so I went there. I said I want to recharge my phone,
Yeah.
the SIM card I got it from India,
Yeah.
and I want one cake. And she said $3.99, and I was like, I don't want anything, just recharge my phone. I came back, called my uncle, and I said, there is something wrong. It's super expensive. This girl is asking for £3.99. I don't have.
Oh, three.
It was
Yeah.
£3.99.
Yeah,
And I
yeah,
was
yeah.
like, and then I went back to my student hostel reception, and I said, I don't understand the currency here.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I have to go back to India.
Hmm.
So, yes.
So, did you feel insecure at all? Like comparison was there at all? Because I know like this happens for at least men's when we are all studying and looking for job, and then someone else gets a job. Like, oh, maybe I'm not the right.
Yeah, you feel like somehow you are lacking something.
Yeah. Do you guys feel that? And how did you overcome it?
So I wouldn't lie that there is no pressure. There is a lot of pressure, especially when you have taken out a loan and you're trying to prove yourself. And you do tend to get insecure when somebody else gets an offer before you.
Yes.
So that is the one thing that I would tell myself is calm down. It's going to happen for you. Because, back then I didn't trust that I will end up in Amazon, but it got me there in 2 years. So my journey was very different from other people, but I got to where I wanted to be. So
Yeah.
trust your journey. It's not going to happen exactly how you planned it. Also have realistic expectations
Yeah.
from yourself.
Yeah.
I mean, it's okay to not get placed right out of your course. I did 3 months of no pay job.
Yeah.
So it's okay
Yeah.
to go through that 1 year of hustle
Mm.
and then get to where you want to be.
Yeah.
I was on scholarship, so there was no pressure of getting job as such. But yeah, I think I'm still insecure. Like if I have to apply for a job and I get rejected, I would still be super conscious
Yeah.
and I would feel like I'm not good enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's something that irrespective if you're international student, if you're a student and 22, 23 years old, you would have that insecurity build up in your mind way lot more than you would have in your 30s, but that's a natural human feeling. You feel judged, you feel insecure, but all it's like it's you have to train your mind
Yeah.
to show up next day with the same confidence,
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
and that's all. Like
And I would say interview a lot.
yes, interview.
Don't get in a rejection loop just because of one interview.
Mm.
Keep interviewing a lot. It is like flying. You get that miles under your belt,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
you get better at answering questions.
Mm.
So
Or maybe that job was not meant for that person. That's it. Like I have also faced this in India. Like there are times when you interview, there are high chances that you're not getting that job not because you are not good, because there are other factors. Be it
Yeah.
like your profile is a bit different, or there is someone better profile, or something else. It's just like you have to train your mind to consciously not think about it. Like
100%.
but it's in your mind, and I have been insecure back then. I am insecure yet.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that it's
That's
a
natural.
personal growth
Yes,
journey.
yes.
Yeah. We're gonna wrap, but before we wrap, imagine these students are gonna watch this. The women's are watching this. What is the one advice would you give them who are planning to pursue their masters abroad?
I would say if you have your own dreams, it could be my dream was to buy my own house.
Mm.
It could be having your own little company, being an entrepreneur.
Mm.
If you have dreams and if you feel like your current life is not supporting that, you're not growing as much, or you need a different platform, the best thing you can do is sign up for a master's or an international course. It will get you out of your comfort zone, and go with the right attitude. Go to have fun. Go with an attitude of it being an adventure. And also, like she mentioned, try not to have a lot of inhibitions. And it's been a wonderful adventure being an international student, working there, living there for 5 years, making great friends there who are like family,
Yeah.
and then coming back to India as somebody successful and somebody who has an edge
Mm.
in the job market here as well.
Mm. Yeah. Yeah.
I would say like go with the right attitude to learn. If you're going to study, focus on that. Focus on your professional growth. Focus on your personal growth. Take risk, but be alert. Don't fear rejections,
Yes.
and that's it. Like just don't give up.
Yeah.
Like
Love it. Awesome. Again, thank you, Madhushri. Thank you, Rasika, for doing this. Super insightful. Loved the whole journey coming back to India. Again, can't wait to bring you back. But until our next one.
keep
Keep
smiling,
smiling,
keep
keep
hustling.
hustling.
Bye.